I grew up in Pocahontas, Mississippi, a town some say set so far back in the wood you had to poke your way in and hunt your way out. I come from a sharecropping family. Most of my young impression of that life was of hardship. Black folks just working hard, trying to stay alive from day to day. My mother was a domestic, working in white folks' white houses on paved streets. We could only visit her from the back door. Such were the events that caused me to yearn for freedom. A word foreign to my young vocabulary, but familiar to my heart. So, in the early 60s, when something in the air started moving and that something was a freedom train, I quickly jumped on board. May of 1963, Black students from 3 of the Black high schools in Jackson walked out of school and began the long march downtown. At age 17, I was one of the organizers for that march and one of the hundreds of young people dumped in garbage trucks and hauled down to the state fairgrounds. From that one act of courage, I became fired up by the movement. The movement moved with me and I moved with the movement. Oh, I became a regular protester, a regular marcher. I reported to the COFO office dutifully, just like a soldier in the army, to receive my day's assignments, whether it was marching, passing out leaflets, or door-to-door voter registration. I was on board the freedom train and loving every bit of it. Before that summer was over, I faced more brutality than I had in an entire lifetime. Trigger-happy racist policemen, water hoses, and the White Citizens Council met us with blunt brutality. Some of the assaults against us received media coverage, while some of them were covered up and went unnoticed. Such was the back injury I received one scorching hot July day in 1963. We were marching out against an injustice and had all been arrested and taken down to the state fairground, which had become the usual practice. And I remember it was some kind of hot, sitting in that paddy wagon. So I had a writing pad that I had brought with me on the march, and I began to fan myself. Well, somehow my writing pad fell to the ground. So I asked the officer who was standing around if he would get it for me. He simply turned red and ignored me. So what did I do? I jumped down from that paddy wagon and got it myself. Before I could get back up on that paddy wagon, that officer pulled his billy club back and went whack right across my back. Well, instinct took over, and all of that nonviolent training I had received went right on out the window because I went at that man like a panther gone mad. Thank God for the other young people that were on board that paddy wagon because they pulled me back up there. That police officer had cocked his gun to blow me into Kingdom Come. I will always remember that name as the first man who ever hit me, since I didn't have a father growing up. I fought off my own grandfather who tried to whip me, and here was this white policeman going at me like some mad fool, and all I could do was suffer peacefully. They left me out in that hot sun on a stretcher for hours. I finally received medical attention, but those white doctors treated me with the flip of their hand and said all I had was some minor back pains. I found out later that I had received serious nerve injury to my back. In fact, I still suffer from chronic back pain to this day. So, once those turbulent times in Mississippi had passed, I moved on to New York in 1967. And one day, I came across the Black Panther Party. Oh, I saw them in all their black regalia, their black berets and their black leather. And they were talking about educating and empowering people of color. And y'all know I wanted to jump on board that freedom train. So I became a full-fledged member. My sister and I were the first females to start a chapter in White Plains, New York. We began to recruit members, and we started the first seminal service program, free breakfast for school children. Yes, my community activism did not stop in Mississippi, but kept me right on to New York. The 80s took me back to school. I acquired 2 degrees and became a college professor. The 90s, 1999 to be exact, brought me right on back to Jackson, Mississippi, where I taught and still teach at Jackson State University. In my lifetime, I've also written a memoir, novel, some poetry, and some fiction. But just like the great Martin Luther King, I just want to know that I was able to help someone along the way. Then my living will not be in vain. Who am I? I am Frankye Adams Johnson. She deserves no further introduction. The woman who stands behind all of those great accomplishments. The real Frankye Adams Johnson.
Wow. This little lady called me up. They asked me to tell me something about you. Because I want to give you justice when I get up and portray you. And I said to her, well, honey, there's only one of me. But here's what I can tell you. If you read my story, just tell what you felt when you read it. And that child did. That's so good. That child actually looked like a little panther man. When I was young. A little younger version of me. And Miss Joanne, I just want to thank you. Miss Joanne called me, and I was excited, and then I was not so excited because I wasn't sure why Miss Joanne was honoring little old me. And so Miss Joanne, and woman to woman, and I was touched that Miss Joanne, once I talked to her and found out more and more about what it was that she was trying to do. And I just wish that my mama, Mrs. Gussie Sears, was here. Because my mama, when I came back to Mississippi, my mama said it's a shame that y'all, all that marching and stuff that y'all little children did. That's just the way she said it too. I just think I'll never forget how y'all little children would be pouncing them streets and singing your freedom songs, and it's just a shame that nobody gives you more recognition for all the stuff that you all suffered and went through and did. And so, I thank you, Miss Joanne, and I'm accepting this in honor of my mom, Miss Gussie Seals, and the others, unsung heroes and sheroes, the little people, the marching children of the movement that rarely anybody talks about. You hear the big name folks. But the marching children of the movement, particularly here in Mississippi, had the president calling down here to Mississippi. Who is that President Kennedy, I believe it was, telling Megan and them, stop them children from marching and stuff, because we were making plenty noise and going to jail and getting big. It was the most turbulent time, the very turbulent times. And so I'm grateful that all of you are here, and my sister back in the back, and my sister Lucille, my very best high school friend Jackie, and a lot of Cage Chapel people, whether they came here just for, we have some Cage Chapel, Sister Porter is one of my church members, so we got a lot of Cage Chapel folks in the house supporting us. And which Cage Chapel folks should you just stand up, all of you? We'd like to thank you all. Again, Miss Joanne, I want to give you a hug, and I want to thank you for thinking of women, us women folks. There's so many folks forget about us women folks, and I'd like for you to keep what you're doing going. It is a beautiful young lady, and I'd like to see you, and you worked so hard to put this together, and I really am glad that I'm honored that you thought of me. God bless you.